Both my parents were musicians. My father was a violinist. My mother was a pianist. She was from Iceland, incidentally. And in all musicians' home, you know, the child is almost supposed to get an instrument. So my father got me a small violin. I was 3 years old, and showed me how it should be placed under the chin and so forth. I simply, no, down there between my legs. No, under your chin. No, under your chin. I was stubborn. And my father must have realized that, because then an end pin was added to the cello, and that's actually how I started playing the cello. And so I have chosen the cello, or rather the cello has chosen me. So why? I have no explanation. I don't know. But apparently it was the right decision. So, and then later on, or just a few weeks later, I think, a viola was converted into a cello, and then a small cello was especially made for me by a fine violin maker. I still have that cello, and that was actually on that instrument I gave my first concert when I was 4 and a half in 1936. And one very important thing that I think all children that study music should keep in mind, that is, learn how to read music. Because I actually learned that when I was between 3 and 4. My father made a very ingenious contraption, you know, with some colored light bulbs, and that could keep me entertained, you know, where there appeared a little picture, then maybe, you know, a comic figure, and then a note, and so forth. But anyhow, I learned how to read music. But my father was a wonderful musician. His teacher was the famous Anton Svensson, who at that time was professor at the conservatory in Copenhagen. But my father left the conservatory because he simply had to make a living. My father played many places, both in Denmark and in Sweden, where he incidentally met my mother that came from Iceland. In Iceland, I know she had played in the movie theaters, you know, with the silent movies. And that required somebody real musical, and somebody who could, could make the music fit to what was going on the screen. What was maybe a little unusual is that we shared professional things. I mean, of course, also we played at home, you know, trios together, and we could discuss musical problems and quite profound problems, you know, like that. So I suppose that it was a little different maybe from other homes. But for me, it was just natural. I mean, that's how it was. I mean, the eternal question was, especially when I got a little bit older, the people asked, oh yeah, you play the cello, that's great, you know, but tell me, what are you going to be? And I looked at them, you know, as they were crazy, and said, of course, I'm going to become a cellist. So there's never been a doubt, and I'm very grateful that, really, that I knew exactly what I wanted. If I inherited something, of course it's difficult for me to say, but I have been told that it must be the stubbornness. I'm not that stubborn, but you know, I can be rather determined. And I think, you know, it in my profession, it might be an advantage. I mean, when you have to overcome some difficulties, and you have, you never give up. So I think that must be my Icelandic side.